Namaskar. I'm Umesh Gajendragadkar, and you are watching Learn with Umesh, L3N with Umesh. We are now going to start a new series to help us learn anti-gravity. We will work through installation, no code examples, as well as examples where we actually allow anti-gravity to develop code, debug it, and then finally maintain it. We will also discuss what anti-gravity is good about, what it has as strengths, and what it has as its weaknesses as we go through all this series. Thank you for watching and subscribe if you like what you are seeing. All right, so let's start with a quick introduction of Google Antigravity. It's a it's an AI-powered integrated development environment (IDE) designed to enable developers to delegate complex coding tasks to autonomous AI agents, and it's expected to be enhancing software development efficiency. When I say it is AI powered, it basically is more like doing vibe coding, if you want to use that word. It's able to use multiple AI models out there, primarily Gemini 3, and then of course some of the Claude models, and then Open AI's models as well. The beauty of anti-gravity is that unlike traditional AI coding that requires a constant user input, it has agents which operate almost independently and can handle workflows from planning to deployment. My experience is that doing it completely autonomously during development phase may not yield the best of the results. So a human in the loop during development may be still a good idea. The good part of this anti-gravity platform is that it kind of builds user trust because it generates the artifacts of the code that you generated, creates the tasks list, the implementation plan, shows you the screenshots, does testing and all that, rather than just doing raw tool calls. And then it also has a good, simple, clean interface. One which is an editor view, which is a familiar IDE interface for all kinds of hands-on coding with an AI assistance, and then a manager view, a kind of a control center where you can orchestrate multiple agents while working on parallel tasks. So that's about what anti-gravity is, and we will start installing it now. So to get anti-gravity, go to antigravity.google, and depending on your platform, you can install it. I'm going to download it for Windows, which is my platform, and x64. So let's just go and start the download. Let's install it now. Okay. Experiment, add path. Okay, it's the standard installation for any of Microsoft installers, so we should be good. Okay, so let's launch anti-gravity and see where we go. Okay, so what you are seeing here is effectively the standard user interface of anti-gravity. You should start creating a folder, and I'm just going to create one off the screen. So we just created a folder on C drive called L3 and with Umesh and opened that. And you don't want to trust the authors of all files in the parent folder for now. Okay. One of the reasons why we want to do that is to make sure that anti-gravity doesn't have an ability to A, learn from that folder or everything on my C drive, and B, it doesn't go and update anything in that. So I'm not going to, you know, do this. Once we have done it, we now have the final UI exposed to us with of anti-gravity. So on the left hand side, you have the Explorer where you can create new files, new folders, and collapse folders and whatnot. You have the code search, the Git integration, run and debug modes, and remote explorer and extensions that we want to have. You also have what is known as the outline and timeline. We are currently in the restricted mode. Then the middle part of this is where all the files that are happening would appear once we start working on this. And on the right hand side, you actually have the agent which is still trying to, load the various agents that are available to anti-gravity. Let's give it a second to make it happen and then we can go from there. So now we have opened the agent manager here and we are going to use the folder here called workspace L3 and with Umesh, and we are going to start a new conversation with this folder. So the way to think about this is probably the project on which you are going to work in this workspace. You also have a special project called as a playground where you can create whatever you want to know, and these are independent workspaces for quick prototypes or following your curiosity, and then you can move things to dedicated workspace that you want. I think we are good to work in this folder for now, so let's go from there. Like I said in the introduction, you do have access to multiple models out there that are currently supported by anti-gravity. Gemini 3.1, Pro, High, and Low, they basically indicate how much of intense thinking these models are going to do. There is Flash, then there is Sonnet, Opus, and uh, GPT's OSS 120B. So let's start creating a one-page web app that would be a no-code website that is developed for, let's say, an Indian vegetarian restaurant on the shores of Seattle. Let's create a prompt for that and try and see how this thing works. So I have created a prompt. I'm just pasting it here. You can actually see that you can talk the prompt through as well if you want to, but let me just walk us through this. So build a complete one-page application for Indian vegetarian restaurant located on the shores of the Seattle. We should say you are an experienced web app designer. So that sets the role for them. And why experienced. All right. Goal is to build this. The core requirements, it has 20 tables. Each seating has some force and whatnot. We would like this to be open from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. User be able to book the table and whatnot. So we have basically created a prompt and we are setting a design expectation, clean modern single page layout, hero section with coastal seashore aesthetic, book a table call to action and whatnot. All right, the output would be this. Let's see what, and we are going to use Gemini 3 Flash for now, or if we want we can use whichever model we have right now. Okay. Let's see. Do we want the workspace to trust the agent? I think so. We would like it to trust it. And let's see where this takes us. Okay, so you can actually see that it is working here. So as you can see, it's creating a set of tasks: initial planning and design, create implementation plan, define color palette and typography, asset generation, and whatnot. And then it also has an implementation plan. All right. So it has decided what this thing is there, uh, the core assets, color palette, and all the implementation plan that it has is part of the system that we have. It also has a verification plan which would show you the automated tests and manual verification for now. So you also get an ability to review this and change things if you want to. For now, let's say this looks good, and the minute we say this, it will go and start creating the pages for us. Okay, looks good. All right, so let's tell this to begin the implementation, and we can see where it goes. It's saying it is generating certain stuff. Let's give it a chance. Okay, it's getting an error, analyzing the directory. Maybe it hasn't. It has analyzed the implementation plan, doing the thought process, and so on it would go. Cool. So it has started running the implementation plan. We will then, and it keeps on asking for your inputs, because we have said that we would like to see this. You can either accept or reject it, but we can say run for now. Right, so it's checking the command status. Okay, and then it has again asked for a review. So I'm just going to take it as is and say proceed. Now it is asking, it's creating the index.html and style.css files. Once it has created them, we'll start seeing them appear on this side in the Explorer. Okay, so this is one of the ways Antigravity is building the trust, and it's trying to do certain things. As you can see, it also opened a browser window on my other this thing, where it is trying to open the local file. It's running through whatever it is. It is doing the test plan, and the pages are appearing on the website as we talk. It's running the tests on its own. Okay, it's done the basic validation testing. So if you have been part of a good development environment, you would always want these tests to be done. The date validation is being done. So and it's also using the DOM to create all this. So I think we are good on this side. So it looks like anti-gravity is really doing the job of unit testing here, though it's still manual unit testing. well, not manual, they of course have a script here that does this. Okay, and you can actually see every single step that they have. So it has done it again, it corrected itself in the sense the test result, the test set has been corrected, and looks like it has run into a tool call limit here. I don't know what that tool call limit is, but it's probably because I don't have a full Selenium license on my side, or any tool that they may be using on it on their own. So the visual check has been done, the functional check is being done, and let's see. On the task implementation, we are now seeing, things that they have completed. We are right now in the design and implementation of the booking section. So you can also see it on multiple files that they are working on. Okay, so we now have multiple files up here appearing. So the good part is that they're not doing it just on the back end. They're trying to show things to you and see how things are happening. So as you can see, it's also doing the browser window resizing tests, confirms that the navbar etc. are hidden while no the logo remained visible. All the basic tests are being done very well here. Let's hope the web app becomes really usable once it is handed over to us. Cool. So you now have all these files that have been created. I'm going to say accept all for now. Just going to, blindly go through this. So you can see that it has completed the implementation of the app, and uh, let's see what's the walkthrough is. All right. So we are at the walkthrough page here already. It is talking about what it has implemented, then the verification results of it. So it also shows you that the booking flow was tested with multiple inputs, and you can see the multiple tests that it ran. All right. It also gives you the responsiveness. It has tested it also for mobile, so that's really good, and we may be able to see the verification of the recording. Okay. We can also see all the files that were created, the index.html, the script.js, and I'm glad that it's been commented on also. Excuse me for that. So you can see, probably easier to manage it or maintain it over a period of time. Okay, so let's actually go to the index.html file. It's since a single page app that we asked for, we should be able to test it locally also. So you can see the hero image here. That's really good. I'm glad that it has got the Seattle skyline also on this side. So a good picture has been chosen. We can see all the menu items here. limited right now, but we should be able to create any. I can book a table, and we should be able to book the table whichever way we want. All right. So I hope no email gets sent. Hopefully it won't. So it's for tomorrow. Let me see if I can book something at 4:25 p.m. for two people. Cool. Any so looks like the app is ready for use and seems to be simple, straightforward application. All right, and you also have a footer giving a wonderful information. I don't know where this brought it out. All the copyright information is also here. All right, so let's quickly do a code walkthrough. A couple of things that you would easily notice is that it's not really done a good foldering here. That is HTML files in one folder, JavaScript in another, style in another, pictures in another. You would expect a good amount of foldering here. It has not done it on its own, but remember, Antigravity is not at fault for this because the documentation actually says that you should create something called as an agents.md file, which would help it know how you want to create the folder structure depending on the technology that you are using. We will explore the agents.md file in the next session, but for now, let's remember that without that file, it would be pretty bad in terms of creating all the folder structure. Now you can see this um, index.html file is well created. I don't see anything which I want to comment on this for now. Let's look at the script.js file, and you can see that it has commented it properly. Talks about the constant menu items. I'm sure I should be able to change this and it would work. So that's not a problem. Then you have the populate menu, which creates the right kind of menu with the div class. And then it has created a simulation logic for booking. And thankfully, it has created it using a memory-based storage for the booking. So that's good. We can enhance this to create a file-based or a database-based, and we will walk through that at a different point in time. All right. Now let's see if we can, tell it that instead of using memory-based booking simulation, it should do it using some Excel file. Okay, so we can go and say update the code to make the bookings persistable in an Excel sheet. I'm being very cheap here, but for now, let's try and see if it works. Test it and make sure we do not double book. Okay. So think of this as a review comment that we are giving it to anti-gravity, and let's see what it is going to do. So from a developer's perspective, it has already said to that it is going to wonder how to do that Excel changes, persistent Excel bookings. So it is going to update the plan. It has created an updated implementation plan. All right, I don't see it here. Yeah, it has done it here. Yeah, so it has a automated tests or trying to automate tests. So let me just go and say run. Okay, so it would now need me to actually bring certain versions of Python or maybe some libraries. All right, let's see if it is able to get it. Yeah, it's doing all the pip stuff as well on its own, so that's really good. Okay. Just so you know, it does give you a notification on the screen. So whatever reason it is coming onto my secondary or primary screen, but you should be able to see it on your own. Okay, so it has updated the implementation plan. I'm going to trust it as is and say proceed. So as you can see, it has started updating it to make sure that our Excel stuff is taken care of. Okay, run, accept all. So it's using Flask. So that's a library that I don't have on my installation. So it has installed it on its own, and it will continue to, it has created an app.py. Now, as I said, it is opening up the earlier way. It's opening up the browser on its own, and it's trying to, test it. Okay. So it's good to see the testing that's going on here. Excellent. Okay, looks like it has regressed. I don't know which year it has booked it for. Clearly a mistake here. Hopefully it catches its error on its own. If not, we have a pretty bad example. I still don't know why it is able to book it for 61,201. Theoretically, it is correct, but we said it is MMDDYYYY. So this is using 5 digits per year. Not necessarily a good thing to do. Okay, so let's go to anti-gravity and see where it has done this. Okay, so it apparently has done all the work according to itself. Let's see if I can, let's run this on my own and see if this works. Okay, so we still have everything as is. Let me try and book a table. Say k at gmail.com. I'm going to use the simple way of doing this. 27th. I'm going to fill the time at 2:33 p.m. Make it 4 people. Confirm reservation. That's cool. So it has confirmed it. Now let me do the same thing and see if I get out of this. I don't know when I booked it, so let me put it again. ll.com 27th, and we will do 1:33 p.m. Okay, 2 people. Confirm reservation. Now let's try and do again. ll at gmail.com and 1:33 p.m. 4 people. This time slot is already booked. So this is clearly wrong because we have 20 tables, right? So let's see if we can challenge this implementation. Okay, so as we found, we have some errors here. Let's see if we can, challenge this and say, looks like you are limiting the booking to a slot even when more seats already are available. Shall we say tables are available? So remember we have 20 tables of 4 seating each. Alright, and generally a table is occupied for say 90 minutes on an average. Okay, so I'm just trying to give it context of what we want to do and then say update the code to take care of this and not give false double booking messages. So as you can see, it is thinking again. It's generating some code, I don't know, refining the booking logic, simulating table test availability. Let's give it a minute or two to do this. I'm going to keep quiet as it goes through the thought process. So good, 90-minute window is taken, 20 table limit is there in memory, so elimination is restored. No, I still need it to be persisted. Don't do in memory. No, I need this booking to be persisted in Excel, not just memory. You probably need to be a bit assertive with this tool apparently. Let's see how it works now. Okay, I'm going to change this to always run for now, but it's disabled in strict mode, so that's good. I have to do it manually. Not sure why it is reinstalling. Oh, it knows requirement already satisfied. For looks like it is forgetting what it had done in the earlier session. Good, it's giving me a progress update as to how things are happening. Okay, so it is saying that I should be able to test it again. So let's see if it works. Okay, so let's see. Hello. One at abc.com. I don't care much about it. 37, 141, 4 people, confirm reservation. Okay, make sure app pi is running. Excellent. So now I need to do something else to make it happen. Okay, so I asked it to restart the local server on its own, and it's telling me how to run it locally. So it's saying I should be able to run it using HTTP localhost 5000. Let's see if it's able to do that. Nope, doesn't work. So clearly we have something missing here. Or we should be able to open this on the local file server apparently. Let me see if I can do that. Okay, index. All right. So seems like I'm able to do this. It's doing the test. Okay. So except for the purposes of deploying something, it has been able to build the app for me. You can also see that it has created the script, the bookings Excel that holds the information. Let's see if we can look at the actual Excel that it has created. So you can see that it is out here, and you should be able to see all the data is now persisted, including its own test data after far in the future kind of a booking. So with that, we should stop this session. So to summarize, as we started, updating the code using our further follow-up instructions, we find that multiple things went wrong. A, it has lost the hero image. It did create the bookings.xl, and it has been able to test it and work through it. So the testing works. It is now able to confirm that I'm not double booking things. But you can see, as it happens in every development, regressions keep on creeping in. Antigravity is also in the same boat as far as I understand it today. All right. So with this, we will stop. If you like this, please subscribe and like it on YouTube. Thanks a lot. In the next session, we will try and talk about the agents.md file.